receiving the judgment of the Lord. If they're not part of that, if they're not reading that book, man, all right, the book of life, if the Lord has not chosen you to be delivered in that day, you will be down here burning, okay, in the great lake of fire. And that great lake of fire is America, man, all right? Because that's exactly what it's going to be once all those missiles hit. And it says, and the sword shall devour thy young lions, and I will cut off thy prey from the earth, and the voice of thy messengers shall no more be heard. Yeah, the representatives and their ministers, what they call that, and the U.S. ambassadors, they go throughout to the other countries in the name of the U.S., right? Trying to strike deals with the other countries and make peace between the U.S. and other countries. They're going to be cut off.
Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will burn her chariots in the smoke, and the sword shall devour thy young lions, and I will cut off thy prey from the earth, and the voice of thy messengers shall no more be heard. NAHUM Chapter 3. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and
this is how you know that it's dealing with Babylon the Great, man, which is America. Because this is the place that is it was built upon bloodshed. Right? America belonged to who at one point? It belonged to our brothers, the Gadites and the Reubenites, man, who are the North American Indians of whichever tribe they call themselves. They're really all of one tribe of Gad. And then you had the tribe of Reuben, all right, which are the so-called Seminole Indians. These are Israelites, and this was their land, man, that the Most High gave unto them. The Lord said that he was going to enlarge Gad. And this is what it meant, man. This great, big continent known as America. Esau came over here and stole it and murdered them to take it. Then brought over Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? And as slaves, and had them build this place up. Then you had the land tribes in the Caribbean, man. They were put in slavery to build up their shit out there in the Caribbean. So, see, Esau got a lot to pay. This is the bloody city, man. And it said that it's full of lies. And, oh boy, is it. America was founded upon lies, hypocrisy, murder, bloodshed, rape, robbery, murder.
Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, because of the multitude.
Right, it says going back to verse 2, it says the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. It's talking about these vehicles of today, these cars. All right. The horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, because that's talking about this great war that's about to happen. It's going to be a lot of dead people, man. And there is none end of their corpses. They shall stumble upon their corpses. I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, because this great battle that's gonna take place, man. A lot of people are gonna die in that great battle. So I'm gonna stop there. So part 5, we will begin at Nahum, the 3rd chapter, and the 4th verse. Shalom.
Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not, the noise of a whip, and the noise of the...
Shalom, Yasharallah. I'd like to begin by saying, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, whom I worship. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who taught me this word, the sincerity, and the truth, and who rule well, and are still on the highways and byways, and the gaps and the hedges, pushing this word so that they may receive their cross of salvation at the end, at the coming of our Lord. Salutations be to the hopeful elect of Yasharallah throughout the world who are doing the same, that you may receive your crowns of salvation. Alright? And salutations be to the great cloud of witnesses of Yasharallah. Can't forget about them who are diligently watching, sincerely believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and waiting upon his salvation. And the Lord grant them his salvation, you know? Alright, at that day. You know, they are part of the hopeful elect. So this is part 5, and we're beginning at Nahum, the 3rd chapter, and the 1st verse. Already, right? Nahum starts off juicy, right? Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Back then, he was prophesying against Nineveh, right? Nineveh, a city in what today would be known as, I think, somewhere in northern Iraq, when it was controlled and ruled by the Assyrians, okay? But today, in today's time, it's talking about the new Assyrian Empire, right? Which is America. Also, America is the new Babylonian Empire. All right, because America is all these kingdoms in one. So America, which is Babylon the Great, and all these other ancient kingdoms coming back spiritually, America is going to receive the judgment of all these kingdoms, man. Because who ruled this kingdom here? The Edomites, man. And the Edomites are the worst, are the most hated people of the Most High, man. That's why they're going to receive the greatest punishment ever. Where the Most High is just going to do away with the whole nation, man. In the kingdom, the Lord said that in the book of Obadiah that we're gonna burn Esau up. What's that? Like the apostles got the saying, we're gonna Obadiah 18 these Edomites, man. Alright, let's go.
Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not, the noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifteth up both the...
So it says, woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies. That great city is the same great city that it speaks of in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. You know, that great city, Babylon the Great, whose sins have reached up into the heavens, man, into the Most High's nostrils, man. And the Most High has become fed up with this place because of all the sins that were committed in this place, man, especially committed towards his people, man. He takes that very personally. because we are the apple. We're the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, and we are the apple of his eye. For those who are newly coming in, who, if you may have to question, who are the Hebrew Israelites? Well, the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, which are the Hebrew Israelites, are the so-called black people that live here in America, in America, right? So-called Latino people of Negro and Indian descent that live here. So-called Native American Indian people. Those are the tribe. They're from the tribe of Gad. So-called Seminole Indian people. They're from the tribe of Reuben. And these people are scattered all throughout the Americas and all throughout the world. And all throughout the world. Because of slavery, they've been scattered. So these are the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, man. And we're coming to realize and find out who we are in these last days. Because we were supposed to. That was the prophecy. Verse 2, it says, the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. That was Nahum describing in the future what he saw, which today they'll be known as automobiles or cars. Excuse me. Okay? These vehicles. All right? He saw traffic jams and traffic in the streets. You know, he saw all that. He saw traffic lights, cars stopped, cars going, cars honking their horns, all that stuff, man. The Lord allowed him to see that.
The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, because of the multitude of the husbands of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her husbands, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against.
Verse 3, it says, verse 3 says, the horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear. That's talking about the militaries, man, right? The U.S. military fighting against the other militaries of the world in this last great battle that's about to happen in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the whole Levant region, the Middle East. It says, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses. Yeah, because they're all gonna fall in this great battle. They're all gonna pretty much kill each other. And there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Yeah, because it's gonna be so many people dying. You know, the glittering spear, that's going into the missiles. And then their swords today are the modern day sword, which is the machine guns and the gun and this different technology that they have, man, for warfare now. It says, verse 4, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. Who's the well-favored harlot? The well-favored harlot is Babylon the Great, which is America, because the whole world loved her at one point. All nations laid with this whore. And now, after they've done the deed, they're wondering why the whore has turned against them or tricked them, you know? Well, that's just what a whore does, man, to get money. And that's why the Lord's going to burn her with fire, man. A whore will lie to you to get your money. A whore she'll do whatever it takes to get your money, man. And then at the end, you're the one that ends up getting screwed. No pun intended. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts. America was founded upon witchcrafts. The so-called founding fathers, they were all Freemasons. All right? And the Freemasons, they are controlled by the Illuminati, all right? The Bavarian faction of the Illuminati, man. And that's well known. They worship a false god named Baphomet. they sacrifice unto this false god and everything, man. And they worship other gods as well. They worship the other gods of the nations, the ancient gods of the Babylonians, of the Assyrians, of the Moabites, right? Of the Canaanites. And families through her witchcrafts, yeah, because that's how America has come into power, man. You know, through her witchcraft, her worshiping of Satan and different so-called gods. There are no gods; they're fake. So this is part 5. I'm gonna stop there. So in part 6, we will begin at Nahum, the 3rd chapter and the 5th verse. Shalom.